This is part 6 of my trip to New Mexico, and it's the last one of the trip's videos. Part 6 takes place in Arizona and covers the San Xavier del Bac Mission and Saguaro National Park. I started the day off early in the city of Benson, Arizona. I went to the Farmhouse Bakery restaurant to get some breakfast, and I got the pancakes and eggs, which turned out to be very good. The restaurant was classier than I thought it would be. I could tell it was a classy joint by the paintings on the wall. After breakfast, I hopped into my car and drove the short 50 miles to the city of Tucson. There I headed straight over to the San Xavier del Bac Mission. The mission has a lot of history to it. Work on it started in 1783 and it was completed in 1797. It is the oldest intact European structure in Arizona. The elegant white stucco, Moorish-inspired exterior of the mission really stands out against the blue Arizona sky. The mission is often called the white dove of the desert. It costs nothing to enter the mission or for parking. Free is always good. If you have the time, a visit inside the mission is worth it. In fact, let's go inside now. Cue the organ music, please. I meant something more appropriate to being inside the church. If you can, definitely go inside the mission and take a look around. I just couldn't believe the artwork and the level of detail inside. What's that old saying? They don't make him like this anymore. When I was there, I simply walked through the mission on my own. But I have found out recently that free docent tours are offered for the mission several times a day, Monday through Saturday. Then I was off to my next destination. Before I got there, I ran across these two incredible signs. Here's a retro sign for the old Flamingo Hotel, now known as the Red Roof Inn. Here's a close-up of that sign. I really love this. Not too far away was another old retro sign, this one for the Tucson Inn. I should have made plans to see these at night. After a little drive, I got to my destination, the Saguaro National Park. There are actually two parts of this park, the eastern half and the western half. The eastern half is bigger, but in the western part, it has a lot more denser population of saguaros, so I spent all my time in the western part. I mean, I was there to see the famous cactus, and let me tell you, I wasn't let down. My first stop in the park was the Desert Discovery Trail. This trail is a nice introduction to the park. It's a short loop, maybe a half-mile long, it's level, and it's paved. Here I am on the Desert Discovery Trail. Notice the flat, paved trail that I'm walking on. Some of the scenery on the trail. Well, I'm in Saguaro National Park. This is beautiful here. If I could just see a saguaro though, that's the only problem. Every once in a while, there'll be one of these nice shaded rest stops along the trail with a nice bench to sit on and reflect on the scenery. Boy, talk about feeling spoiled. A couple of friends I met on the trail. Well, I'm still walking in the park, still looking for the saguaro cactus. After that, I headed over to the visitor center to take a look around. Looking out at the back area of the visitor center, the saguaro cactus can live up to 150 to 175 years old. It's a slow grower. It might only be 1.5 inches tall at 10 years of age, but can reach a height of 60 feet when fully grown. When fully hydrated, a saguaro can weigh between 3,200 and 4,800 pounds. And you thought you had problems retaining water. Next up, I headed over to the Bajada Loop Drive. This 6-mile scenic drive is on a graded dirt road that's suitable for low-clearance vehicles. Here's what it was like driving on Bajada Loop Drive. Actually, for being a dirt road, It was pretty smooth sailing. Here's a picture I took out the car window. And here's a sign pointing me to my next destination, the Signal Hill Trail. Here's some of the scenery at the beginning of the trail. The Signal Hill Trail is a nice half-mile out and back trail that goes up a hill to a scenic view and some petroglyphs. I know the word hill sounds daunting, but if I can do it, you can do it.
Well, I'm on the Signal Hill Trail right now and still have a spotted saguaro cactus. You know, if I hadn't gone in here for free, I'd demand my money back.
Here's some of the scenery on the trail. Here's a sign I came upon on the trail. Let's take a close-up look and see what it says. For your safety, beware of prickly plants, poisonous rattlesnakes, scorpions, and Gila monsters. Avoid putting hands or feet under rocks or in hidden places. Always look before you step. Stay on the trail.
Dang, look at all that nasty stuff that can hurt you. Should I go on this hike or not? Yeah, I think I will. You only live once, or if you're a cat, then you live 9 times.
Here's a look at the trail heading up. As you notice, not too steep of a climb. Finally, I made it to the top of the Summit Hill Trail. This is the view looking down, and you can also see how the trail snakes slowly up the hill. Speaking of snakes, I saw this sign on the trail as I was walking up. Speak of the devil, can they really strike that fast? This one looks pretty sluggish to me. Besides the excellent view from on top, there were several petroglyphs there to look at. Here's a shot of the first one I saw. Concentric circles. I'm not sure what that means. This one shows several animals on it. This one has several different petroglyph images on it. And this next one involves some sort of game, I think. After that, I headed over to the A's Kimimzin area of the Bajada Road Loop. Well, I sure hope I pronounced that right, but I probably slaughtered it. One nice thing about this area was I finally spotted my first saguaro cactus. It was really quite by accident. Do you see it? No, you're looking the wrong direction. It's right over there. Just straight ahead and look for something tall and green. Also here, I spotted my first and only cactus bloom. Here's a picture of me standing next to a giant saguaro, but the picture looks a little crooked. Let me try something. There, that looks more like it. Here's some prickly pear with fruit and some saguaro cactus in the background. Here's a saguaro with 9 arms attached to it. Some saguaro can have as many as 25 arms, while others have none at all. No one has yet been able to figure out why this is. All the walking I did today got me hungry, so I headed into Tucson to get me dinner at Grumpy's Grill. I remember seeing it and thinking it would be worth trying just because of the name. And you know, I'm glad I did, because the Reuben sandwich I got there was excellent. After finishing dinner, I headed back out to Saguaro National Park. The sun was starting to set, and that was bringing a whole different look to the park and to the saguaros. The sun glowing on the saguaros gave the landscape an almost unreal look about it. Here's some shots of saguaro silhouettes in the sunset.